Magic City. In the dawn, Frank had walked north along the edge of the interstate carrying buffalo. He'd hitched a ride with some fishermen headed for Canada in a black Dodge Ram. An old man was driving and his son was sleeping in the camper top covered truck bed. The old man sipped coffee from a stainless steel thermos lid cup. The old man had not said anything beyond, "Where you headed?" when Frank got in, and "Coffee?" shortly after. Frank drank coffee from a styrofoam cup. The sun had not yet appeared, but light was rising at their left. In a few hours, they would be on a long bridge, the line between Lake Michigan and Lake Superior, and then they would be on the borderline of two countries. Frank remembered the old magic. It was always at the edge of things, the edge between day and night, between sunset and dusk. He could see the last light stealing in along the edges of the old canvas tent. Magic seemed effortless, but it was not. It was always planned, honed, carefully. One emotion built on top of another, energy built in such a way that it would transform into belief, into release, catharsis. To get there, Frank used all the tools: nostalgia, grief, joy, excitement, peace, in the right order, in the right strength, at the right time. The old songs, the new songs, the Old Testament judgment and despair, the New Testament forgiveness and repair, the everyday stories of despair, death, loss, hope, love, healing, laughter, and the space between sunset and last light was the window the magic crawled through. He led them up to it, carefully. The more effortless it seemed, the more work laid hidden. He had learned the path so well it became intuition. It became natural, instinct. If it was done right, they were ready to surrender to belief. He created that desire in them, that ability. And in that space of change, between day and night, he showed them healing, showed them a hint of it, just enough that they could believe and they could feel. After he had led them up to the edge of day and night, distracted them enough that they forgot the wonder of it, he made them see the reality of healing. Then they believed. And that was the magic. Belief. Belief in healing. That anyone could care enough to see and understand what they needed. And then, by force of will, to heal. A shard of morning sunlight reflected in the truck's rearview mirror blinded Frank. For a moment, almost drug him back into the present, but he was too far lost in the past, too deeply buried. He imagined it was the glare of the spotlight, illuminating him under the revival tent, casting his shadow into a distant place. He remembered how whole and warm he felt under the bright light, moving without knowing, all instinct, his body loose and relaxed, a conduit, an instrument. He would feel the vibrations of his words ringing out in his throat, booming through the microphone he gripped in his hand. He would feel the emotions swelling through his chest from where he did not know. He would feel his damp shirt collar against his throat, feel the cool breeze move through the revival tent, piercing between his suit coat and sweat-dampened shirt, cooling his skin. He would feel his chest rising and falling. Then the spotlight would fan from him at the lip of the stage, under the revival tent, back to his brother Henry, standing at the back of the stage with his Martin guitar, new silver strings shining in the light, strumming a minor chord, the first chord of a minor song, a song about grace. He imagined Henry must have felt he had a minor life. The spotlight moved from the onstage show of healing back onto the individual, onto the crowd, their healing. The old farmer sitting on the metal folding chair, the young woman with the dark hair leaning forward with hands clasped, praying with her eyes squeezed tightly shut, shifting from the stage show down into the reality of their own soul, their own healing, their offering, their communion. At the end, everyone was left alone with their own soul, even Frank, even you, and the spotlight was blinding. Burning hot in the humid southern nights, he sometimes wished it was the blinding brightness of a terrible angel wrenching him from this world. He imagined Henry, smiling in the spotlight, going into a major chord, imagining a major life, carrying the magic carefully, like a flame against a great wind.